The following video was pre-recorded on twitch.tv/codedman9000. More information on the stream times at the end of the video. Previously on Stone to Space.
For the start of Chapter 3, we went to Kerbal Space Program to learn how to make rockets so that we could explore the stars for a new home. We began playing on career mode while not knowing anything about what we were doing. After doing some research off-stream, we then moved to the science mode with newfound knowledge. We went to both moons, created communication networks, planes, science missions, a space station, and then ended the game by traveling all the way to Duna in the Antari ship.
After arriving at Duna, our ship the Antares fell apart, causing us to land on Duna and mine its resources so that we could fix the Antari ship. We unlocked various buildings, and also different types of science. After fixing everything but scanners on the ship, we then left the planet behind us as we continued to travel in space. Partially during our space flight, we landed on an asteroid. Over the course of a few hundred cycles, we had mined out the asteroid, converting its resources into various things that we needed in order to keep 24 dupes alive. We made a lot of automated machines to take, cool, or convert items into other items. We then turned on a machine that would allow us to take a dive into the dreams of one of our dupes. Hello and welcome to a Twitch Plays Along series called Stone to Space. Today we're in Chapter 3, Space Travel. Today we are playing Oxygen Not Included. So what we did in the last stream is partially we added in this tube network that goes to all of our major points, aside from up here in the rocket area where the tubes would most likely melt. We have one rocket, Curious Sputnik, in space. It has 5 dupes in it that are all going to go and suffocate inside their suits, but we want the suits for when they land on Chillial, where we're almost done building the base. Now we need to get all of this liquid out of here. I also queued them up, I guess, to sweep up all the debris so that it's at least in one area. And we did the bottom portion of the spawn. We just need to do the... Well, we have the electrolyzer portion. So this is the top of the spawn. The power network with the spawn and power distribution. Then we have the aqua tuner and the steam turbine, but that is it. So what I'm thinking about doing is boxing off the rest of the base, to finish out this portion here. Turning on the electrolyzer once, just to get a little bit of hydrogen in here. And, hopefully we can capture it so we can prime the spawn so that we don't have hydrogen going to the bottom of the base. Now doing this, we are going to unfortunately have hydrogen where I don't want it, because I think the hydrogen is going to expand quicker than the oxygen, which maybe it won't, maybe it will, I don't know, but we need the lid on this just so that we can get a little stuff there. So, let's continue playing. We should have to wait one more cycle, for the dupes to get there. They have, since there's 5 duplicates in here, they have about 10 cycles worth of food. So we have to leave by cycle 2010, we'll call that. By the end of this stream, we should be at a cycle equal to the actual year. Anyway, we also have them queued up to sweep up this entire portion of the petroleum boiler, as well as... Actually, they picked up everything outside base. Now there is a lot of... Oh, that's an oil biome. The polluted oxygen looked like carbon dioxide was stuck there. I wonder if the tubes... No, the gases are moving behind them. I was wondering if the tubes blocked the gases from expanding. But it looks like it doesn't. I'm also surprised that all the gases are still stuck over here on the left side. Like they're refusing to go to the right. Don't know what that's about. There are a lot of puffs out here yet again. I don't know why puffs are being dropped out here. There's a lot of eggs out here too. So let's relocate everything. I don't know why the meat's on the floor either. There's an egg right here. There's a puff right here. There's an egg here. There's a pufflet right there. That's gonna get killed. I don't see any other eggs where they shouldn't be. I don't see any other puffs where they shouldn't be. We have princess in all three. So we're gonna do that. Priority 7. All the eggs. I want the eggs moved on a higher priority than them killing the puffs, because they should only give 1 egg. I would be very surprised if they had more than 1 egg to give before they die. There's nothing really to do inside the base. And we should... yeah, we still have too many suits. Congratulations, Gino, on catching Tan the mouse. Oh, that's right. We were also getting slugs up and running. So we're going to go ranch 4 at a time. And we're going to do smog slug eggs so that they can eat depleted uranium, fart out hydrogen gas, and then soak up the hydrogen gas and give it to us, so that we can use it somewhere else. Now, I had it going up because we were originally just venting out, but I think I should make a way for it to go in over here. So let's put in 2 bridges right here, 1 bridge right here, and then another one. Well, actually, how do I do this? I want to bridge onto this so that it's not doing a 50-50 split. But honestly, with it doing this little bit, I might as well just test out to see if we could do it at a 50-50 split. So let's put this in, because I should be able to do that from within the base. And also, they are taking a while. Oh, this is on a 5, that's why. Let's put that on a 6. It'll give us a little bit more oxygen. We have another smog egg. And the other dupes should be close to landing. They are actually landing right now. So there we go. We actually want to make sure that this... okay, I'm not letting anyone in here yet. Nope. Okay, you're doing the liquids. Nope. Oh, you're just gonna stand there. I thought they were gonna go inside. We want to make sure that all the gas leaves first. And it should leave pretty quickly. Aside from the polluted gas that's for some reason showing up. Why is that showing up? This water shouldn't be able to off-gas. Maybe it did because the liquids moved around a little bit. But anyway, this is down to a few grams. And we've got it down to where it doesn't reach over, so that this whole area is still vacuumed out. I could put this door like up here, but in the future we're gonna have this be the rocket platform way down here. So I don't know what we're gonna do with that. We are down to milligrams at the top, so I'm just waiting for us to get the milligrams. There we go, we're now down to milligrams. It looks like we're going down 100 milligrams a second, maybe every 2 seconds, or 1.5. So we're probably going to just sit here for maybe 1 cycle to make sure that all the carbon dioxide leaves. Because it shouldn't take too long. If I open the door, it's going to fill up the temporal tear opener with carbon dioxide, which then means that they will open the other door and go in, filling the entire base with carbon dioxide. And we're trying to keep that empty. Once I put a little bit of, once we get the electrolyzer to start running for a moment, we won't have to worry about it because there'll be oxygen and the carbon. Actually, do we care? It is hot, so maybe we care just about the heat. So if this gets cold enough, I may let them go in. But if it stays this hot, then I'm not. Because once there's a pressure here, it's going to be releasing oxygen into this room every time they go out, rather than bringing carbon dioxide in. We are almost down to micrograms, so this is almost gone. And as I expected, we're about a cycle in. While we're doing this, let's do an early prediction on what our first pod is going to be. We're about a half hour in. So is the pod in the top left blue button going to be tops, bottoms, buildings, decorations, or wallpaper? You guys have 10 minutes to decide. After those 10 minutes, I will hopefully remember to look at it. We have some debris right here on the neutronium, which you can see in the cursor. That's a little bit of igneous rock from the tiles that were right here that melted. We're down to micrograms up top. Seems like we're losing micrograms slower than... We're gonna grab that plastic for sure. We're losing micrograms slower than we lost milligrams. Actually, maybe not. That's weird. I don't know how the game decides that. I guess it's the same speed, and then they're just changing the name. Because if 1,000 micrograms is 1 milligram, we were at one point losing 100 milligrams per second. We should have just like poofed out of his existence. Gas here. I don't know how the game decides. Okay, we have hundreds up here. We're starting to get a vacuum in the top left corner where it expanded the furthest. Right here is getting a little bit below 200. It could be close enough for me to open the door. I'm definitely gonna let them leave. I don't know why we didn't have that click to open. You know, I'm gonna say go ahead in. Yes, they are gonna bring in carbon dioxide, but that might actually just cancel itself out because of how low it is outside here. Okay, I also want this on like a higher priority than sweeping, because I want them to get rid of all this liquid so that we can actually use the carbon skimmer and the water sieve. And I guess the desalinator isn't showing us that it's flooded. Actually, no, it doesn't get flooded. Now that I'm thinking about it. If I get rid of that, the salt water will move down further, which will allow us to mop up a little bit earlier. Still too much for us to mop up. We do have hundreds of kilograms in here. And the water didn't move over, so I'm thinking we're safe to deconstruct this as well. Actually, we want to keep that there. For future stuff. Alright, while we're here, let's just start building in more of the power stuff. So we want this out of gold amalgam. And we are lining it up with the power line there. So that'll go there. We're going to make this out of gold, which can go to facing the same direction. Actually, it's going to be made out of cobalt because we didn't bring gold with us. This does not need to be made out of steel. And then we have our automation. And that'll be all I set up for right now. That should be deconstructed. And we need a wire here. And we're also going to need more wires. Going like that, and then up 1 over 3. Like that. Next thing I'm going to do is try to line up the aqua tuner as well, so that goes right there. And then it bridges over the power connector into this one. This one goes all the way over and up. Grab this bridge, place that there. In here, we want a heavy watt conductive. And flip that around. That way they can do this transformer as well. Can I have somebody do the plastic very quick, please? Because the next time we send off the rocket, it's going to melt. I don't want naphtha over here if we can avoid it. If I were to add another one of these over here, would that make us drain this out a little bit quicker? We could set one up to being just water and the other one for being salt water, which I will actually start now. But, oh, it's not even set up for water. Okay. I guess because we were trying to save it here. So this will be just water. Enable number 6, so it's a little bit higher than sweeping, but not higher than building because they're going to prioritize building. This we're going to take down to 90, and this we're going to put up to 60. Call it a day. There are bottles of liquid way over here. I didn't realize that we had liquid there. They've been pumping this instead of using the bottle emptier. That's only going to do a little bit of water because there's only a little bit of water on this. So maybe I do want this to be set up for both. And I think I should probably set these to being open, so that they don't have to keep waiting for it to open. I'm going to do the same thing for this door as well. And I'm also going to lower the priority of everything over here for a moment. So that hopefully somebody does the doors first. Even though that priority is building. The diggers are getting to it. And they did it already. I didn't think they were going to do it that quickly. Anyway, there is an Umbreon in chat. Now that is a Gen 2 Pokemon that evolves from Eevee, a Gen 1 Pokemon. So I'm going to see if I have it. Apparently I do. Umbreon is one of the most sought after evolutions of Eevee. And I think it's just because of how it looks. Its shiny version is still black, but instead of yellow stripes, it turns green. Now, if I could put in another one of these... Oh, I can. Way over here. Hold on a second. I'm actually going to deconstruct this, even though I said I wasn't going to at first. Because if I do that, I can add another bottle, or pincher pump. Which might mean that I can do even more at once. Okay, with that, I think we want to deconstruct these two tiles and put an insulated door up there. Now this says that it has no power connection to it, and I think that's just because... No, it is connected in both sides. That's weird. Maybe because it doesn't have a way or something for it to be pulled from. Like, these are already connected in, so it's actually pulling power from this, even though it has nothing, but this doesn't have anything pulling yet. From it yet, I mean. Okay, I guess we'll just let them clean this up for a little bit. I do want this portion cleaned up, at least. And I was meant to connect this up, but I forgot to. I don't think they're going to be able to reach all of this, but we're going to place it in just in case. So this is the aqua tuner there. So it has to go up this way. Then all the way over here. Like that. And then this is the steam turbine exit pipe, which they're of course not going to be able to build right away, but they'll be able to get a bunch of it. I'm just going to cancel them sweeping everything down here, because I want them to sweep up what they can reach. They should be able to get all the way over here and get maybe all of these. I'm not sure if they can get this wire, because I couldn't do that earlier. I should also put the bridge before I forget to. And I guess we can do the automation as well. Should be like this, if I'm right. So at least this has to be made out of steel. So they should have a little bit of automation wire as this one pipe, and then that's all they can reach. Alright, while they're doing that, let's bring this over. So it goes all the way over to here. And that's all of our sedimentary rock. Okay. But the whole reason why I'm trying to do this is now we have a roof. Regardless of all this space, we have a roof now. I think I might actually lock this all in. Like actually put tiles instead of just insulated tiles there. So let's put... We're gonna need 2 tiles here, I think, because this should be the insulated stuff. And then that should bring us all the way up to here, which we're probably not going to be able to reach without putting 1 tile here. At least. Is this low enough? No, it is not. It's getting close. I think it has to be 150 kilograms before we can mop it up. This side might be close. Nope, this side is 177. Climbing. So maybe 6 more bottles taken out of here might do the trick. Oh, I just realized that the tiles are lit up when it's open to the sun. Or to space, I should say. Like, these are all in a shadow. I never noticed that before. That's probably in one of the newest updates from November. That's cool. Okay, I think I want to put the lid to this, at least. So that it's easier for them to walk across it. You're gonna get yourself stuck, dupe. I already know it. Or not. Okay. That still needs insulate, or that still needs sedimentary wrap. That's fine. Because I put this in here, they won't get stuck. Oh, they can just hop over. Okay, didn't know they could do that. Okay, I'm also going to put the insulated tile right there. Right here. And then we're gonna go like this. So they can get all 3 of those. This is getting close. This actually is far enough. So if I just keep doing this, we might get further and further to the left. And now we definitely are going further to the left because we just mopped up a little bit. There we go. They're all queued up to be mopped, so I can deconstruct both of these. Which is going to mean that they're not going to have a ladder to get down, or get up. So let's put that there, so they can get out before they do anything else, and then we can build the rest of the ladder. Alright, and then they'll slowly mop up the bottom. I'm not really worried about it being mopped up immediately, because they do still have more building to do. We are getting somewhat close to our cycle of having to go back home. How are they doing on food inside here? Oh, I've been looking at kilograms, not calories. We have an additional 5 cycles. Okay, we do have about enough. Nice, they're prioritizing mopping the few diggers that we have. I'm gonna also open this up. We should be getting close to this not wanting to spread anymore. It's at 8 kilograms. I think it has to go down to 5 kilograms before it stops spreading. I'm not sure. We're also getting close to building everything we can reach. Oh, they almost built this one. It looked like that bar got pretty low. I don't really need to tell them to mop the corner piece because they can reach. But I do it anyway, just in case. Do anything above 25 per usual. I should probably build the room for the aqua tuner before we do any of the gas issues because of wanting this a vacuum inside here. So I'll do that so that they can get a way to walk over here to do all this. And some of this was supposed to be insulated tiles anyway. This one piece here. They're getting closer and closer. I think what would help is deconstructing these two tiles, opening this door, so they can just run across rather than coming down here to go back up. We'll rebuild that wall later on. Didn't mean to do sweep there, I meant to do mop. Is Willow gonna finish it? Nope. And now that Willow has finished it, we can put insulated tiles there because she has a way to get out. Okay. We'll go like this. This is then going to be filled with water, so let's put that there, and I need a pincher pump way out here. And we have a regular pod. We'll grab some sand. We also have a Corsolan chat. And the prediction is ready, so let's do our prediction after the autosave. We have 30 points in wallpaper. Ooh, we have the bottle emptier already built. put that on a 7 because that's kind of high priority. It is part of us making power, so. Alright, let's do our prediction. And we got a building. A webby blue sink, so I think we should switch this out to be that new sink. That's pretty cool. I don't think I have a matching toilet. No, I have a yellow toilet. And a green sink, which kind of looks a little yellow. Welcome in, first time chatter. X Sitsusu. Think I got close to saying that correctly. And if they could do one of these two tiles, that would be nice. Because then I can actually judge how many bottles of water we need. We need 200 kilograms in one tile. So I think we need to bring over 20 bottles. I'm not sure if that actually works out in math. But either way, hopefully they're almost done building everything in here. And I'm glad that they did that top block first. Because sometimes when they do this one, it'll push the water up. They also didn't do this one, because I didn't queue it up. So let's do that just for looks. And I'll have to remember to have them finish that before we roof this off. Did I explore the star map? We explored it a tiny amount. We got our lava planet. This is, I'm guessing, another planet. This is two different not meteors, asteroid fields, and these could be planets. That also could be a planet. I just noticed that now. Alright, we have 200 kilograms in here. That's enough for 100 kilograms for all of this, so I'm going to tell them to stop putting water in here once this bottle's empty. And we'll just deconstruct that. We'll get them to finish this wall off, and then we can put the roof on. Which, another thing I can do is queue this up. Now, we don't need this to be steel up here. They're also not going to be able to build that until there's a floor. So, the next thing I want to do is sweep up everything that's in here. And then queue up everything but one tile to be built. Which engine did you use to get there? This is not too far away, so we've been using petroleum engines. It's the large petroleum engine with 2 fuel tanks and oxalate as our oxidizer. We also didn't put in our thing for hydrogen. So let's get this built. I think I want it right there. Does that line up with the power? Yes, it does. And then we want another Atmos sensor right here. Power lines. That's going to be set to 200. This is set to 800. And then we just need to put gas pipes. So this is anything above 200. Do I have a good red bolt source? No, I do not. Which will be an issue later on when we try to open our temporal tear, but we have yet to find the temporal tear. I've also not tried to look for it yet. But I have a good feeling I know where it is. Why does that say we have no granite? Because we don't have granite. Okay, let's just cancel that then. and instead use this. And we do have a battery connected to our power line, so let's just go like this and put a manual generator right here, just so that we can kickstart this whole thing. Now we really are only doing this so that we can get a tiny amount of hydrogen and a small amount of oxygen so that we can prime the bomb, which means that I'm going to want to deconstruct this so I can put a tile in its place, so we can do a small liquid lock here. Can you open it without knowing where it is? I don't know if you can for sure. I would think that maybe you could, but I have no idea. Okay, we're gonna want thing there, which means power spine's gonna have to be changed for the moment, or I can just disconnect it altogether. This, on the other hand, needs a twin. Yeah, I want to put a tile here. Actually, we can just deconstruct this one. Put the tile in here that actually is going to be there. And then if I grab bottle water, because I took care of the water that's out here, that was out here, I mean. Oh, and we used some of the stuff already. Okay, that's not good. These weren't supposed to turn on yet. At least we have oxygen in here. Where did the hydrogen disappear to? It's going to be in the pipes. That is great, actually, and I didn't realize I deconstructed these. Oh, actually, we don't have a plumber over here. That's okay, we have to go home anyway, because we're going to run out of food in a little bit, in a couple cycles. How much food do we have? I mean, we have 48,000 calories, so we have enough for another 8 cycles? Right? 40 divided by 5 is 8? But then the kilograms, I think these are going to spoil before we even get to that point. Actually, it doesn't say it's spoiling. I don't know how much we have, because I know each duplicate takes 1,000 calories per cycle every time they eat. But the calories to kilograms is not really adding up. We have an extra 20,000 calories compared to kilograms. Like, it's not even a 2 calories per kilogram thing. I don't know what the math on that is, but we are going to go home in a little bit. What I want to do is capture some of this hydrogen in a pipe. And I kind of need them to pipe it up first. We will get some in the pipe once they do this. That is enough right there. So I want to then tell them to not do this. And hopefully some of this hydrogen goes to where I can easily clean it up rather than in the bathroom. But now that we have this, we want to automate all the doors. At least to that point, so that we're not losing all of the oxygen that's in here. And now I'll automate that as well. So now they can actually breathe in here. It is going to mean carbon dioxide is going to build up down here. We are going to have to vacuum this out. Because there's no way for us to get the hydrogen out of this. Actually, we could just open up the top. Let's do that. We've done that previously. That'll allow the hydrogen to escape up this way rather than going over to the right where it's going into the bathroom, which I didn't want to do, or which I didn't want to happen. Now, with our water system here, I think we need to change how it is, and we can also cancel all of this. Our water, for what we're doing, we're going to be using a lot of salt water compared to water and polluted water. We have that being only going into the spa and none of it going into our bathroom. So we need to prime the bathroom so that we can use it, and then it will feed itself later on. So what I'm thinking is, I don't really want to get rid of this. I think if I want to do this. I think the first step would be get rid of the pipes. Or the bridges, I mean. And I'm going to get rid of this as well. If I do this right, I can get us to just go like this. This will come down. Nothing there. Then more pipes there, and I think I figured it out. So this is going to bridge the polluted water onto the salt water once it's clean, or the clean water from the polluted water onto the salt water's clean water. And then it'll prioritize the bathroom first. Which will then come over here and prioritize the carpet skimmer before it goes into the bathroom. Now this might mean that occasionally we have too much polluted water. I'm not sure about that yet. What I do... Oh, we need an electrical engineer and we need a plumber. Okay. Another thing I'm thinking of is waiting for all the hydrogen to go up. And we actually don't need to prime this bottom portion anymore. We will have to vacuum this entire top portion out in order for us to prime that with hydrogen. But we can close this off. We have a little bit of water there for us to make a liquid lock right here. Which actually, hold on a second. I might be able to figure out a way to get all the hydrogen over there. So if I just put a tile there. Break this. All that hydrogen is going to be able to go to the right now. I want to block that off. And block this off. I then want to move all this water way over there, and I want to do this so that they can't use that for water. This is going to make sense in a little bit, not right away. So we have the water there. We're going to empty the water. That's going to put a lot of water in here, which is going to push out this oxygen a little bit. Then I'm hoping I can get the hydrogen to go into there. So I know there is water right there. I'm gonna sweep that. I'm gonna deconstruct this. We're deconstructing a lot just to build it back in. I'm gonna deconstruct this as well. And then I'm just going to start building blocks in here to try and push the hydrogen over to the right, or to the left, I mean. Because the hydrogen should stay in here. Or the oxygen, I mean. Do we get asteroids here? No, we don't get meteors. Let's do our second blueprint. We'll do nothing, actually. There is a Metapod in chat that is a Gen 1 Pokemon. Which I have at least seen once. Oh, I heard bad noise, but I don't see what the bad noise was for. if I were to do this... I think I just want to vacuum out this area until only hydrogen is up here, maybe? Because this is actually going to take too long, now that I'm thinking about it. So let's not do that. We're going to run home and grab a couple dupes and bring them with us back here. There's actually food in here. Sleep meat, okay. So yeah, we're going to go home, we're going to grab a plumber and... a electrical engineer. We're going to move that so that all this oxygen can leave here. And then cancel this. That's going to be expelled in here. I just need to be able to grab that little bit of hydrogen and place it up here after vacuuming this out, which means let's empty that out again. So we get a tiny liquid lock. Now, why did that just go off? Because now there is hydrogen in here, or oxygen. Won't done anything above 200 or 2000. Oh, we actually have a little bit of a lock here. If I go back and forth here. Because I might be able to get all the oxygen out of here without needing a dupe. So let's first connect this back in. And I'm gonna have to disconnect that. I might be able to do something here. So of course the majority of our power is going to be into the desalinators. And now it's going up to the bathroom. Once this backs up, we're going to have extra power. So I'm going to actually wait here for us to finish this off. It shouldn't take too long unless they use the bathroom like they just did. And meanwhile, we just finished jetpack research, so let's go back to research and continue going down. I think this is beach chair? Yep. We're already almost backed up. There we go. Now, the next person that runs on the power should only be bringing stuff to here, which I just need to not get the one piece of hydrogen that was in there. Okay, I want to mop this because it looks like a lot of hydrogen is now on the left side of the base. So if I do this correctly, we might be able to get this to fill in with hydrogen. Yeah, I'm gonna queue that up to be emptied now. Hopefully that oxygen leaves before they empty it. I don't think it's going to. Nope. It's inside. Okay. Have to try and time this. I'm gonna pause when it's above the vacuum. Okay, our spam is now primed. All I need to do is get in here and sweep up all that. Get rid of any debris that's inside there. I don't know why I paused. Let's do all of that. And this needs to be queued up for water again, so that they can have a place for the bottles. Once they move that little bit of debris, I will close this in. Actually, we need to put one of these right here, and then they can close this in. Don't need any of that. This can be reopened. So can all of this. And then hopefully that water goes to the right and not inside. Perfect. Alright, let's grab this. Put that right there. And now I get to disconnect this because we do not care about what's in there. This needs to be anything above 200. And it will now only get hydrogen, so we can go into power and place our hydrogen generators back in. And then call it a day. Because this base is now completed, except for the steam turbine. Which actually we need to prime with water eventually. That should be easy enough because I can just put a bridge from the spawn onto there. Actually, let's do that now. I'm gonna go down one and then bridge onto it. Because this shouldn't be hot enough. Actually, it is a little hot. I'm sure it'll be fine after a while. Especially since the aqua tuner can't run constantly. Let's actually turn the aqua tuner off so that we can fill the pipes before the aqua tuner is actually used well enough. In the meantime, I'm going to tell them to sweep up everything. And this should be on a 7 because it is for breathing. If I let all of the hydrogen go to the top of the base, I could just open the roof and let it vent out. That might be a good idea. We'll see how this goes over time. Can somebody... There we go. I might need to lower this, now I'm thinking about it. Oh, we are just putting it back into here. Let's not do that. We finished moving all the liquids. I'm going to deconstruct this and move it down a couple tiles. We'll get it right there so that it's definitely within salt water. Now, I think this might get flooded. It's not right now, so that's fine. Why they're not doing it right now, I don't know. I guess I have to enable that. Alright, I want them to sweep up all of this. And in front of this desalinator. And we are actually going to need to do a quick restroom break. So we'll be right back. And just like that, I am back. Let's fix the crown a little bit. And play it again. How are they doing over here? We're still filling this up, but it's getting pretty close to being completed. We can't really get the hydrogen generators powering everything yet, because we need to get this ready. But since this is almost backed up, and now it's not going to be backed up for long. But I think we now have full bottles all throughout this. We definitely do. So we can get rid of this bridge. I can tell this to be emptied. And then restart it so they can bring more stuff over. All of the hydrogen is now at the roof. Let's do a regular pod for some copper. I am going to tell them to deconstruct this one tile so I can get that little bit of hydrogen out of here, hopefully. Does mean that we can't use this pod anymore. There we go. Hydrogen is out. Let's block that off. Let's break this open. And block that off. That releases a bunch of hydrogen from in here. I'm going to also tell them to break that open, and this, and this. There's an Oddish in chat. That's another Gen 1 Pokemon. I definitely do need to go through and see how many different Pokemon I have caught on the channel and what I do not have. Okay, this area is emptied out. Might want to open up this corner of the room along with this corner. Because it looks like the hydrogen is getting trapped in the corners that aren't already opened. Okay, that's been emptied. This has also been emptied. Clean this up, and I would have said that portion, but we actually need to get way over here. Doing it in smaller sections is actually getting it done a lot quicker. I know we only have grams of oxygen, but I want to try and get all this hydrogen out of here. Even though I could have just sucked it up with a gas pump and used it for power. I'm okay with losing this a little bit of hydrogen. I think it's actually being sucked out to the left. Okay, I'm gonna do a quick check on their food, because I know it spoils quickly. And we did go down about half of our food. That is 10% stale, so that's actually going to turn into rot soon. But I think we can get this vacuumed out before we run out of food. What if I open one right in the center? Just to try and get the stuff that's being stuck in the middle. We can close that off because I know this is going to make it all the way over to the right. Or maybe it is. Nope, it made it out. We can close all that off. Sweep up everything like we have been. Reset this so they can add more stuff to it. And then I think it is time. Turn the spam on. So there should be anything above 800 grams. It is going to create a vacuum in here for a little bit. But this should be now raising in breathable gas. Put that tile back in. Now we have the hydrogen generators going, so I can deconstruct this. We no longer need the manual generator. Lock that all in. Sweep all this up, sweep all this up. We're still waiting for us to get a midpoint here. Gino, why are you starving? We still have food, so you're not starving. You're just far away from the food. Okay, so the only thing I need to get is an electrical engineer over here. We also want to get down in here and try and start stealing all of the sleet wheat that's in here. Because I don't think we brought enough home for us to fill in all the food. Actually, we did. We also have a bunch of slugs, and you need to be told to be moved over here. So I do not want plug slugs. I do want smog sluglets. And you also have no food, so let's put in... We're gonna put in iron. Actually, not right there. This is gonna stay as depleted uranium. We'll put iron next to it. Anyway, what I'm thinking of doing, now that we know we have this all ready, is finish this off again. Papa's Fruitin is saying that he can't eat. He should be able to. He's inside, right? Yeah, he has to be. I do want them to finish this, but at the same time, kind of need to get home. So I don't know what to prioritize just right now. I think when we come back, we're gonna move the dispensing thing down here so that we can make a non-decor draining debris storage. Then we also need to spend time on getting all this liquid moved somewhere else. Okay, we're almost done. Alright. We got everything swept up, so I'm going to deconstruct this bin. And then we're going to send everyone home. Just going to mean that a lot of carbon dioxide is going to fill in this area. This should keep running and filling in the area with oxygen until we run out of this little bit of water. This auto bottle is going down about 5 kilograms per second. It might actually be 10 kilograms a second. No, it's definitely 5 kilograms per second. But that's fine, because once this empties, we'll just stop using power. Which means that we won't run out. Now these are infinite gas storages, so they are going to continuously fill in with more hydrogen and oxygen, so it doesn't matter if these back up. Which is why I'm only doing 2 natural gas or hydrogen generators. This is all the power that's going to be used within this colony. So we don't need to add more power. The beds are kind of there just in case we want to keep someone here for a long time. We don't have a way of making food, so we'd have to ship food over here unless we do a small ranch of something. Maybe like a small hatch ranch in here. We could probably fit that in. That might actually be a good idea. Because we can feed them the granite that's all throughout the bottom of this base. We also have a little bit of slime and a tiny amount of sandstone. I don't know. I'm excited to go in the bottom of the base. Let's grab the dirt. Next step is to move all this liquid into some other type of storage bin. I'm thinking I might just move it like over here, make a large liquid thing. We could fill this in to make it a wall, just like we did down here, and then put drywall in this portion and just make this one large bin for liquids. And then we just pump it all the way up there. This time I actually am going to pump it because there is a lot of liquid in here. We could also separate the liquids. I'm not sure. We'll figure that out when we come back. There are some things that are entombed up top because of the rocket or the asteroids, so let's dig this on a 9 or else they won't do it. This is still a vacuum. The water is almost hot enough for them to do something about it. And we have this set up and ready for when we're using this for steam, but not yet. And then I was putting cobalt here. I am debating on moving these slugs onto this room. I actually gonna do that. I'm not gonna might or maybe do it. So we are gonna need at least 2 auto sweepers. I can put 1 here. I'm trying to keep room for them to be able to sit up top, so we'll just do it this way. And then I'll just put this here. And then... not like that. This will just come over to here. And I'm gonna put an auto sweeper right here as well. Well, that's not what I meant to do. That will automatically fill this. And now I need to power this up, so let's grab some cobalt. I think I'll just go like this. And the hydrogen, we were building this in, then I stopped, so let's get this connected in all the way. Just like that. And then it should be everything to get these all working correctly. Oh, that's something I need to keep in mind. They can drink up all this water. So I'm actually going to move this to the other side. And I think the slug is going to eat that before somebody sweeps it up. But I'm going to put that on emergency to see if someone can grab it first. Nope, didn't think it would. And we need to add a door right above the water, because they just soaked it up, I think. Good luck with catching Delcatty, Gino. Once our rocket comes home, we'll have a bunch of people, which they just got home. So I need to go back inside and make sure to ground this, or else they're going to keep using it. And it looks like we had just run out of food as we got here. So that was near perfect timing. We're going to spend about a cycle or two because they have to do all of the suits and everything. And then we'll head back. Which, before I forget, I need to find somebody who's an electrical engineer. Which I think is... a hat? I don't remember. It would be whoever's a mechatronics engineer, so we can either take Regus, which will probably take Regus. It's either Regus or myself. We'll take Regus. Select crew. I want... Where is Regus? Regus? There we go. Take Regus over to our third asteroid to get the one thing that we need him to build. We'll call it a vacation run. Or a vacation trip. And once we have more slugs in here, I'll start killing off the two that are in there. I'm actually thinking putting vents here. Just so the slugs that are in here, they can just vent it into space. And if I do this right, I might be able to get power going through here. Oh, can't get power that way. If I go downwards, done like this. I'm changing up the power so that we can also get power from the actually, no, we're not going to have that many slugs, regular slugs. Cancel all that. We will do the gas pipes. Just now at night, this slug should go up here. And then vent all the gas into the natural gas vents. Any slugs that are in here that pick up any of the gases that are here are then going to just pump it back out later on. But before we leave, I really need Regus to finish off these. It looks like anyone can drop off the stuff for it, but either Regus or myself have to build it. You know what? Just because you just move it around, let's relocate you into here. There's the door, and because they're in there, let's cancel that relocate. Now we have the power going on. Now all the eggs are going to stay out here so they can keep creating the eggs. And then occasionally we'll have to just kill off whoever's in here. But that should be fine. In terms of what they're done sweeping, they actually did a decent portion. Remember, there is a lot of debris on each one of these tiles. So for them to have finished about 4 tiles, that's like maybe 10 items per tile. Along with how much of each item could be there. Now they moved all the cobalt off of this metal tile. We're also finally getting around to killing the puffs that were up here. It looks like we have new puffs up here. So I think in the future I'm gonna have to figure out why we keep getting a lot of puffs. Out here. Now I'm gonna cancel the attack on them, which is probably the one they were going to attack. I'm gonna relocate all the puff prints on an emergency order. Okay, this at least explains the puff princes. But then why are these out here? And why are you adding things to this? Something's not right in here. They shouldn't have been able to come in here. Ah, that's what's going on. Or that's part of it for the Puff Princes. I don't want that to off, or to make another egg. Oh, there was already a prince in here. I am going to attack this one, because it's older. And I think I'm also going to queue up all these to be attacked, because we can get into them. For the most part, at least. Okay, we should be able to ignore this now. I think we've waited long enough that we can send the dupes back out because we have all of our suits. I might want to do a call all, bring everyone back into the base. We have 4 critters there, so I'm going to actually just move everyone into here. No, I don't want to wrangle, I want to relocate. So this one slug is now creating us more power on the line, even though we're not using it. We are now able to see the gas leaving. And I'm curious to see how much gas they actually soaked up. So if we stop here... 7, 13, so that's about 20 tiles. Another 18, so that's about 38 tiles. 38 times 1,000 grams, so that's 38 kilograms plus 275 grams. So that's 28 or 38,275 grams of hydrogen that we got from just one plug slug. Or not even plug slug. Hope you got the burger mug on that holy day. I did not get the mug. Thank you, Redneck. Let's take a quick break to go grab the rug, or the mug. I'll leave you guys on the screen as I do it. Alright, we have a Burger King mug. By Burger King, I mean our burger mug. Once I get comfortable, we're gonna actually, I think, kill all the plug slugs. Because there is no longer a reason to have them. So have them get killed over time. I don't know if they're gonna be making any eggs before they get killed off. But if they do. So to go over our ranch, even if they do end up soaking up all of the gas in here, it's a liquid log, so they will just create a vacuum until they fart. Then they'll clean up their own fart and then give it to us as a power source. Now they should be able to eat cobalt. So if I look at Slug, they can eat all the ores, and they can in fact eat cobalt, so they're going to be making that. Alright, let's do a regular pod. Get some gold amalgam. Let's also do... Oh, I never chose the outcome from our last prediction. That was... Or did I? Nope, I did not choose outcome. It was a building. It was a sink. Let's start our second prediction of today's stream. Welcome in, Regus. Praise the Whopper Wednesday. I am also having a great day so far. Thank you for asking, Redneck. I'm glad you are also having a great day. So, while there are about 3 people here, let's do our second prediction. Is it going to be tops, bottoms, buildings, decorations, or wallpaper? To remind everyone, or for those who weren't here, we did get a sink earlier. You guys have 10 minutes to decide. I hope you guys win. In the meantime, I'm going to pour a little bit of water into our mug, and then we are going to do a quick cheers. Are you ready, chat? Cheers to everyone. It's 30 degrees in your area, Regus? That is miserable, honestly. I'm pretty sure when I did the last conversion, 30 degrees was around like 90 degrees Fahrenheit, which is not comfortable, I can tell you that. I think my comfortable range was around like 29 or 27, I forget. There's a very thin line in Celsius that I like to hover around. 31 degrees and 90 humidity, that is... Hold on a second. Does the percentage of humidity go up when there's more water in the air, or when there's less water? I forget how humidity works in percentages. It's 86 degrees near Regus. That is still... I wouldn't really consider it miserable, but definitely not comfortable for sure. Higher percentage means more water. Everything feels damp and sticky. Yeah, I don't like that. On the other hand, my area has been doing a Ireland/England simulation. We've been having rain every other day, if not every day, for about 4 days. Okay, Redneck. I like how the bot in chat doesn't like people saying your name, but also let you say that. For the sake of YouTube, which I am trying to keep slightly family friendly, I'm not going to repeat what you said, but I have no issue of you saying it on channel. See, it didn't let Riga say it, and I have not gone around to fixing that yet, as you can tell. But anyway, while Regus is here, Regus, you and I on my playthrough are both mechatronics engineers, which means that we both do electrical engineering, which is needed for making a steam turbine. And I needed one of us to go to the other asteroid, so I'm sending you along with Willow, Gino, I think Small Town Sophie is the other builder, or the other digger, and then I think Dupe is our second builder. But anyway, you're getting sent with a bunch of people, but I'm staying home. So this is your field trip for today's stream, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a quick thing here. And then I'm hoping that with this rocket launch, the water will turn into steam, so we might even see our final steam room actually work. So it's spinning all the heat right here. The temperature shift plates along with the bunker tiles are spreading it all over to here, which means that this should be getting heated up. It goes up about 10 to 14 degrees each rocket launch, and this is never going to get heated up. For some reason, it's just not spreading the heat diagonally. It is starting to slow down how much is getting raised. So if I stay here, it is close to its flash point. I think it actually needs to go to 102.4. The last time we tested out exactly where it needs to be before steam. So we're getting pretty close, but the temperature is also barely going up by 0.1 degrees. Okay, we're at 102. Still vacuum. 102.2. Should be at 102. There we go! And then that is now spreading all the heat into here, which will then eventually keep this hot enough that the water at the bottom stays going. I'm not going to turn on the aqua tuner right now. I mean, it actually won't do anything while there's no water. But anyway, this is getting all heated up. Now, the next time we send off a rocket, it will keep heating this up because there is an atmosphere. Although I think most of the steam is just going to collect in the bottom here. So unless we can get all of this heated up to the point where it does not lose temperature, because this is not getting spread out at all. That's because most of that is 90 degrees. We need a couple more rocket launches, and I'm kind of tempted to send this rocket up just to do an orbital launch and then come back down. Just so we can get that little bit more heat into here while we have an atmosphere. You know what? I'm going to do it. We're going to send our solo... Dude, actually, what's the crew in here? It should only be one person. Should just be the pilot. Yeah, it's just Dupe. Okay, Dupe's gonna go up just to heat this up. Now, with it being closer to the water, it's probably gonna heat it up faster, because it won't have to spread over before it heats up. That definitely did spread heat down here because the aqua tuner, the water touching the aqua tuner turned into steam. I'm not expecting all of this water to go because of that one rocket. But I was hoping for all of this to turn red. And then that should be slowly spreading further to the right. And as soon as all of this gets an atmosphere, even the asteroids hitting this will keep this heated up. I don't think we have to worry about this falling in temperature very much. I mean, with the rocket coming back right now. And I do know there is a round trip button. I just don't want to use it yet. This extra heat from it coming back should also heat up the water even more. It's just having a hard time pushing to the right. So at least a lot of these temperature shift plates did not get heated up yet. But I think that's all we need to do. Actually, I need temperature shift plate here. I don't know why all of this is superheated. This makes sense. This power line being heated makes sense because that's in the cloud of the exhaust. But over here on the left, I don't know why that's heated up. I guess that's just heated up from the gases in here. Which are only 94 degrees. I know that's like excruciatingly hot, but at the same time, that is very, some of you may die, but that is a risk you won't take. It is, because it is. I was gonna send myself, but I figured we should, you know, send you. So they should only, yep, they only have a half a cycle left. And then by the time we leave again, the cycle is going to be more than the year. Right now we're at 2024. The year I moved into this house. Or was it 2023? I think it was 24. This is my 3rd school year doing the current bus run that I'm doing. And I moved into the house the same time, or a little bit before. I'm actually trying to figure it out. This is my 3rd summer, so that means I have, in fact, been here for 2 years. Okay, our 2nd rocket should be getting close to Chillial. So Radius is going to immediately come in here, turn on the steam turbine. I think I can actually turn on the aqua tuner now and have it cool down the water that's in it. It's obviously going to use some of the power, but I don't think that's going to heat up the water enough with it being 30 degrees before all of the water in the aqua tuner gets below 25 degrees. Actually, if it's going in at 22, how hot is it coming out at? 33. So once this area turns a little bit more green, it should be fine. It is also cooling down up here, which is heated up by this area. Should I extend the cooling loop to cover these? I don't know if we need to, actually. I don't know where all that polluted water or oxygen came from. I'm not too happy about the polluted oxygen being there, because that's going to eventually work its way in here. I should also have a vent so that all of this never fills in. How do I want to do this? Is there a way to make a one-way gas valve? So gases can only leave going up, but then they can come in from the door, is what I want. Because I could put a hole, or I could put airflow tiles here, but then the exhaust from the rocket could make its way in, and I'm trying to make this turn into a vacuum. The only other way that I can think of making this a one-way valve is to put just gas pumps in here. That requires extra power. It would only be a little bit of power, because we could just put one pump in here and have it work until it's empty. It would do a lot more work when we're here. I don't know. What I do know is that this is why we're getting the polluted oxygen. So what I'm going to do is, of course, the regular pod. Get some copper over here on this asteroid. Let's start doing random blocks like that. I am going to add ladders right there just to finish that off, and we're going to go up like this, down on the other side, because this is going to be filled in with water. I should first re-chat. Have fun lurking, Redneck. I hope to see you soon, either on your own channel or mine. Get rid of all this. Because this pincher pump is going to be moved. So right there. Because this door is going to be deconstructed. And then we're going to continue building in all these tiles. I'm going to wait to build those. And I need to do the math on how much water we have in here, how many tiles of liquid we have in here. So we have, underneath the polluted water, we have 36 tiles. Next to the polluted water, we have 22. Above that is another 12. And then 11. And then, not including that one, it's another 11. And then another 11. So it's 3 different tiles of 11. I know there's this here, but we're going to probably mop that up. And then 10. So I need at least 113 within this 4-block tall area, but I'm going to fill that in. We'll grab that. So that's only 100. So we want to go up one more. Did not want that there. I wanted a ladder. Okay, drywall, because we're going to need it all in this area. Well, we don't want to vent it out into space, so it's definitely going to have to be below. Which means I do not want a ladder right there. Alright, then down here, we want pump. We want temporary platform for power, which I'm just going to make as large as we can. You know what? I don't need 2 generators. I do want more than 2 batteries though. So go up. I don't know how it's going to get over to here yet, so we'll go like this. And I have a feeling that we do not have enough for all that, so let's just go downwards. And then they can't build a majority of this. There we go. Once they build the ladders, they'll be able to build all of that. And we also have the rocket set to grounded, so they can't grab the food in here. They need to be able to grab the food. That's not the right planet. There we go. Okay, while they're doing all that, we're gonna build in here as well. And I knew we weren't gonna have enough for this. Ah, the seaweed actually turned into rot. I am actually surprised with that. And if they weren't using suits, we would have some carbon dioxide right here. But because they are using suits, we don't. It is helpful that the debris thing is in here. You know what? We're gonna move all the debris out here. want a small amount of water, and I can't get it right now. Unless we break a pipe here. And then mop up that water. Okay, the pump is not working. Once all of this liquid gets moved out of here, we will be able to move the rocket platform down here. We could probably build the rocket platform, because I think we definitely have enough steel. I would obviously have to move the pump and all that, though. We're getting salt water from up here. You okay? Be right back, Jack. Congrats on streaking, Regis. Definitely still feels weird saying that. Okay, we'll put that in. We do have our second prediction ready, and it's almost time to start our third prediction. So let's get this going. In this pod, we have 1,000 points in bottoms, 10 points in buildings, 30 points in wallpaper. And it is tops. So unfortunately, I'm stealing everyone's money. But that's okay, because we're going to do right away our third prediction. So is the next one going to be tops, bottoms, buildings, decoration, or wallpaper? You guys have 10 minutes to decide, and about 8 minutes after that, we will do the prediction. So this is going to be sweep only, all standard. And is now going to entail all the stuff that I have to sweep up. Now, I want to have this open for a second, because we're going to go like this, and they're going to spend a lot of time going back and forth. Here's a regular pod for some copper again. After they're done sweeping up all of this stuff out here, we're going to close that door, open this one, and then do everything from the bottom of here. So the only thing we should be able to see is the critter, its egg, and leftover shells that it gives off when it dies. So let's get all of this. Now they shouldn't be able to pick up anything that's inside here, which is the slime, bleach stone, and polluted dirt. But we probably should have them bring it up here. How much water do we need in a tile for it to prevent off-gassing? Because I know I can put a tiny amount of water, but sometimes this will get deleted. And I don't know what makes it get deleted. Because you would think that the off-gassing would be able to override the water if the water was there first. $200, $250 to be safe. I mean, I have 10. 10 sounds good enough, right, Regus? I think I might just grab some of the salt water from right here and just pump it in. We'll do like a 50-50 split just to get a little bit of water in there. I think if there's two liquids, it will never have a chance of deleting any of the water. Because that's the same thing with the natural, not the natural gas, but with this whole system here. Because there's two different liquids, it won't push that around. So maybe if I get like just a couple packets of salt water in here. Like, that's probably fine where we're at right now. And then I'll just deconstruct all this. We'll build it back in later if we need to. They did finish sweeping up that pretty quickly. So let's grab everything from the ladder. And all this. I know there's a little bit more stuff that got dropped down there. We can actually deconstruct this. And I should probably add sublimators to the list. So they can actually pick up all the stuff that's in here. Now we are actually feeding this poke shell because it eats the polluted dirt that's right there. It did off-gas a little bit. That was just a chance of it off-gassing while it was being dropped. So we shouldn't have to worry about it too much, especially if we tell them don't go back in the base until this is vacuumed out. There's not really anything for them to be in here for anyway, other than coming down here once we get into this portion. Let's grab that. I'm also going to tell them, kill the poke shell. The only critter that was here. And I don't know where they took the meat, but hopefully put it somewhere safe. Okay, I think it is safe to set this on auto. There is plastic right there. It's a little odd. It's probably also odd that the mini pod's way up there, so I'm gonna have to find a place to put that. I'm thinking about putting it right here. Maybe moving this door over a little bit. I was thinking about putting hatches in here so that we could have food here, but I think we might just not revisit this colony until we're ready to open the temporal terror. Now, if I connect this up to our power network, I would be able to have this run constantly, and then we would just be using our water. So I want to just set this up to be self-sustaining. Let's start working on making it self-efficient, I guess. I would be... so that's 840. Technically, this entire power network is still a spawn. $840 plus 240 for the refrigerator and the telephone. And then it would really be 480. Because we have this pump pushing it up here, and then another pump up here bringing it back down. So plus 480 for right now. That is still the little line. So I'm gonna keep using those. Only now we're gonna hide them in the floor. And I forgot that I told them they can't go in. So let's get this all the way down here. Looks like we almost went down a tile. I wonder if I can mop this up. I mean, that is a lot of salt water, so I don't think we can yet until that drops. This one tile of salt water has to go down before I can grab the salt water that's in there. We're finally able to communicate with our first colony. Now, does this take power when it's not in use? I'm gonna guess that it does. We also got another research done, so now we have the beach chair. Let's continue going to, I guess, the notice board, or pixel pack. And then we'll go into the automation. We should be able to mop this up now, I think. Nope, too much liquid, never mind. Okay, so this is no longer needed. It's going to always be running. So get rid of all that. Sweep all that up, which shouldn't take too long. And then we're going to put a pump up here Do I put a filter on it? I'm not sure if I should. And I think I might actually want to have the polluted water prioritized over the salt water. Because looking at this, we might actually back up on polluted water since we're getting more from the bathrooms. So I am going to prioritize polluted water. Deconstruct that. Once I put in the bridge here, I'll deconstruct that tile. And there was one more right here. Pick all that up. Okay. Next thing is to bring salt water down. I think we'll go down here over. This. Do I want to do 50-50 or do I want to prioritize the pump? I think I want to prioritize bottles, so we'll definitely do a bridge. We'll need another one, which I meant to click on, but now the autosave is in the way. This should also not be insulated tiles. I just realized that we're not actually cooling down anything out here. Either they can't make that or they can't reach it. I think it's that they can't make it. So cancel that and do these instead. This can just go straight up, actually. We don't really need to put the pump anywhere else. So that'll go right there. Might as well add the power while they're up there. Do something like this. Actually, I didn't realize how close we were to the power right there. So now that's cooling this down. It should somewhat counteract this, but I think this is just going to be a lot of heat right in here. Would it be difficult to cool this entire... I don't think it would be difficult at all, actually. So we could go over, down, back up, and in. I'm gonna plan this out like this. That looks simple enough. I think that'll work. There's one tile that can't reach unless I destroy a thing. So I'm gonna have to destroy... I'll wait until they finish it all. So that we're not actually destroying something important. And we're gonna have to bridge this on somehow. Now, it would make sense to just have this pump go straight into there, but it's not going to use all of this water right away. So there's no point in having it a straight shot, because we still need a tank for it to go into. Although this does use more power. Let's get some spicy tofu over here. Give us a little bit of something to eat. I'll queue that up to have edible stuff as well as other things. Now, I don't want them to take things out of the rocket and put it in here, but I do want them to grab stuff in the pod, which, as I said, we're going to move this down to here. You know, I think I'm going to go like this. And I think I need to deconstruct this. You can't deconstruct it. Okay. That is now forever stuck outside. Because I don't think I can add a second one, even if I disable it. I did not know that when I placed it up here. I'll still make this room. And I don't think we want to use this right now. So let's turn this off of auto bottle. We now have this ready. So I'm going to deconstruct this tile so they can build the pipe, and we'll rebuild the tile. Which means we are going to lose power over time if they don't do this quick enough. Okay, it's looking good so far. This can now power the spam, so we have a somewhat infinite source of water. I wanted to do the insulated tile door. Apparently we don't have 800. Yeah, we do. It's the fibers we don't have. We don't have 2 kilograms of fiber. But that is our alarm for us to find out who we're going to read out to. So I finished mopping that up. And I think we have to just send everyone home because we can't do anything until this is done because the pump is in the way of us putting the rocket platform down there. And as far as we are on food, we actually have enough sweet wheat at our main colony that we should be able to make everything that we are needing sweet wheat for. So we don't really need to go down here for anything other than maybe the wheezeworts for later radiation stuff. So that's what this is setting up for. I think we're ready. Let's select home. We are going to go inside and make sure that this is grounded when on land. And begin launch sequence. They're all inside. We're taking off. When we come back, it should be after the water is taken care of, so we can actually drop this down after we come back. And let's do our last prediction. So we have another 1,000 points in bottom, and another 10 points in buildings. I'm gonna finish my cup while we look. We have gloves again. Since when do we get 2 of the same clothing in a row? Like, I know we've gotten tops and bottoms in a row, but 2 pairs of gloves? I don't like that. That seems rigged. But unfortunately, it's another top. And now I think our main focus is just going to be Widado, because our next thing to do, now that we have done the first thing on the to-do list a while ago, it still says land on Chillial asteroid, but that's because I never updated it to say tame it. So let's change the to-do list. And what is our lava planet called? Do we get to see the name of it? Charibo. Okay. Land on travel to Charibo. instead of travel to lava asteroid. We don't know where the water asteroid is, but I'm gonna... Whoops. I want to go to whatever this is, because I feel like that would be a very nice circle of planets right there. If there's one even right here, I might even do that as well. I don't know if there's going to be one in that area, but that seems like the right area to go. And then I know where the temple tear is. That's the only thing that I have purposely kept in mind. And it is on the edge somewhere to the south. That's all I'm going to say. It's the very last tile somewhere down south. That's why I don't know what this is, like planet-wise, because it's too close. Anyway, we don't really need to wait for that rocket to come back for us to do this, and that scared me for a second. I thought we had a hole in here. But let's update the to-do list. So there you go. That means chat goes away for a few seconds, and we are now going to save the game and go into our raid-out scene. And there is a Rhyhorn. So for everyone trying to do a Gen 1 Pokedex catch thing, there's a Rhyhorn in chat. I'm actually going to check that before we save the game. Apparently I have it. So let's save and quit. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to catch me live, I stream on Twitch on Wednesdays and Fridays from 10 AM EST to 12:30 PM EST, and on Sundays from 10 AM EST to 2 PM EST.